It is a kind of evisceration that no amount of PR spin could salvage. In a jaw-droppingly savage segment on the Graham Norton Show, the acclaimed British host left audiences howling and Meghan Markle's team scrambling after he tore apart the Duchess's tone-deaf and self-aggrandizing speech at the recent TIME100 Gala. With his trademark wit dipped in acid, Norton mocked the Duchess's performative activism, Hollywood grandstanding, and her seemingly endless obsession with her own narrative. Viewers called it long overdue as Norton delivered what many saw as a public reckoning for Markle's insatiable quest for validation under the guise of philanthropy. The speech in question, delivered by Meghan at the 2025 TIME100 Gala, was supposed to be a heartfelt address on global storytelling and female empowerment. Instead, it quickly devolved into what critics described as a narcissistic monologue centered around herself, her hardships, and vague, unprovable claims about systemic silencing. According to Meghan, the world needs more courageous voices like her own, a sentiment Norton didn't hesitate to pounce on. You'd think she just returned from the front lines of a war zone, not a Netflix soundstage, Norton quipped, drawing explosive laughter from the audience. She talks about being silenced more often than she's actually silent, which, let's be honest, is never. The crowd erupted as Norton continued, poking fun at Markle's tendency to turn every appearance into a therapy session disguised as a keynote. The host's takedown was more than just comedy, it was an indictment. Citing the Duchess's repeated contradictions and her reputation for self-promotion, Norton lambasted Meghan for using the platform to lecture an audience of accomplished individuals on resilience and bravery while never failing to center herself. It's like watching someone light a candle for world peace, then use the flame to ignite their next brand partnership, he added. Norton's critique landed especially hard because it was rooted in public fatigue. Since stepping down from royal duties in 2020, Meghan Markle has positioned herself as a global thought leader, a role critics argue she neither earned nor performs credibly. Her Spotify deal famously collapsed in 2023 after just 12 episodes of Archetypes, prompting one executive to publicly call her not a great audio talent. Meanwhile, her Netflix projects, including The Ill-Fated Pearl, were quietly cancelled despite heavy investment. And yet, she continues to speak from a platform typically reserved for proven changemakers. The TIME100 speech was emblematic of everything critics accuse Meghan of: vague platitudes, over-polished delivery, and an uncanny ability to insert herself into every social justice conversation without contributing anything concrete. Graham Norton merely said what millions have been thinking, only he did it with a televised microphone and a primetime audience. What made the moment even more devastating was its timing. Just weeks before the gala, Meghan's new lifestyle brand, American Riviera Orchard, was met with confusion and derision, with industry insiders describing it as a Goop knockoff with no clear identity. Pair that with dwindling public trust and repeated accusations of opportunism, and Norton's dismantling of the TIME100 moment felt like the final straw. The response was swift and lopsided. Social media lit up with praise for Norton's boldness. Finally, someone had the guts to say it. One viewer wrote on X, "We're exhausted by the constant Markle monologues." Others applauded Norton for defending the integrity of platforms like TIME100, which are increasingly seen as vulnerable to celebrity infiltration and branding masquerading as activism. Meghan Markle's supporters were, predictably, outraged, but their cries were drowned out by a broader cultural shift. The Duchess's brand of performative empowerment and perpetual victimhood is losing its shine, especially when juxtaposed with real-world leaders making tangible impacts. In Graham Norton's scathing takedown, the world witnessed more than just late-night comedy. It was a cultural turning point, one that reminded Meghan Markle that public attention is not the same as public respect, and a microphone does not make you a movement.